think $800,000 in cash is a lot of money, but you can't show them an $800,000 piece of property because you know and I know they're not going to get it for $800,000. So the first question has to be, what's more important? Is it the fact that you have $800,000 and you want to go live in Danville or one of those hotsy, ritzy places, or is the fact that you got to get in? That's the key. You have to get into this market, and you can't get in with $800,000 in an $800,000 market. Maybe you have to start in a $700,000 market and work your way up. Why? Because you still have low interest rates and you have appreciation, so you will be able to get into that $800,000 market, but maybe you can't get into that market today. The second thing you need to talk to them about are interest rates. Because let me tell you what I think is going to happen with interest rates. Interest rates are ticking up. You've seen that from 1.3 already to 2.4. I think that 10-year note could be as high as 2.8 by the end of the year. That's what I think is going to happen. And that means that mortgage rates are going to tick up. Now they're going to grouse about it, okay? Because these people have all lived in a world where interest rates for the last 4 or 5 years have been at 3% to 4%. So they're going to grouse a little right now because they're going to go from 3.38 to 3.6. Jumbos, thank God, have come back onto the market. Those are over 4%. You're going to hear them grouse about that. Well, they ought to stop grousing because they could have locked in at 3.38%, but they were all greedy, waiting it to go down to 2%. See, free money is free. It was already free. You can't get much cheaper than free. So at the end of the day, they were idiots. But, you know, you have to be nice to these people, okay? At the end of the day, here's what's happening. Their window is beginning to close, and they need to understand that. I guarantee you that interest rates are going to go up. Now, mortgage rates won't be as badly affected as that 10-year note, but here's when you're going to really notice the difference in this market, is when the 3 and the 4 becomes 5. When they see the 5, okay, in front of one of the interest rates for the jumbo or whatever, they are going to freak on you. Now, what's ridiculous about that is 5% is still pretty good money because the average on mortgage rates over the last 30 years has been 7%. I remember when we paid 15% on houses, and when it went down to 12, we thought we died and went to heaven. But you know that these people are going to freak. Now, let me tell you why you need to have the conversation with them right now about interest rates. Because the magic of interest rates is what is making and building wealth in the real estate market. It's not the appreciation. Appreciation could be there or cannot be there. You know, we'll go through another market where appreciation is flat or it goes down. It's interest rates that drive real estate and build wealth. Here you got a house you bought in 2002, $600,000. Let's say you didn't get one of those crazy loans. You got one of those 30-year, 25% down fixed loans. But you paid 7% interest at that time. Your monthly payment was about $4,000 a month. So you go to the bank and make your monthly payment, and you got a $600,000 loan. Here's how it's divided. 9% of that $4,000 pays down the $600,000 loan, and all the rest went to the bank in interest. Fast forward to today, same house, $600,000, same mortgage, same loan. First, your mortgage payment is $1,000 less because you're only paying 4% interest instead of 7%. But here's the biggest thing, 27% every month now is going to pay down that $600,000 loan, and the rest goes to interest. Now, we love all you people here are bankers, but we don't want to give you too much interest. You don't need it anyway. At the end of the day, the government doesn't like you to make too much money. You know they're after you big time. So at the end of the day, you were making and gaining wealth even if the property doesn't appreciate. So the key for these people is to get in when interest rates are still low, not to wait and miss this market. The next thing is, look, you all came up here and gave me list price. I don't know what list price is, and neither do you. You can't go out there and show me one piece of property in any of these areas and tell me what list price is. You know what you're doing? You're putting a price on the property depending upon the kind of end price you want to get. That's what you're doing. So in some cases, you're listing it 1 to 3% below where you think the market is because you want to get multiple offers. In some cases, you're putting it at market price, and in some cases, the idiots of the world are putting it over where the market is, thinking that people are going to come running out there and give them that kind of a price. Here's the key that a buyer needs to understand. You need to determine in multi-offer situations where is the market price, not the list price. Let me give you an example. I'm in an office the other day, and this woman gets up and she says to me, I have buyers. We've been out on 4 deals. They went into a property at 1.1, and they went all the way up, Carole, to 1.4, and we didn't get that house. And you know, they were devastated, they were mad, I was mad, that's $300,000 over the asking price. I said, what did the house go for? She said 1.6. I said, here's the mistake that was made. Was 1.1 the right place to start? I said, was that the market value of the house, or was it priced there to get multiple offers? She said it should have been priced at 1.3 million. I said, then that's where you should have started with your buyers. You have to tell them list price has nothing to do with the foundation of where you start your offer or your contract. You have to get down to market price, because if they had gathered the 300,000, they then would have been at $1.6 million, and they would have been in the running. The other thing you need to tell people is, isn't it great when you have 87 offers on a piece of property? No, it's not, because most of them are crap, and you know what? And they're FHA people. And here's my answer when everybody asks me, in everything I've ever been at, what do you do with FHA people? You sit them down, you cry with them, you tell them life is wonderful. The key is we have to go look at another area where we can find something for 187 or 200,000. You're not going to be living in Danville. And guess what? At the end of the day, the key is just to get in. There's no way in hell you're going to compete against all cash offers, no financing, no appraisal, etc., 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 and you think you're going to get an FHA loan at 3 to 5%, and you're going to get in there and compete. Nobody looks at 87 offers. You've got to be in the top 3 offers. You've got to hit the home run out of the ballpark. And if they don't want to do that, then take them someplace else, or tell them to sit down, shut up, and wait for the market to change, because they're not going to win at the table. You need to have this kind of a discussion with people. Now, I'm going to give you a formula, and I'm going to ask somebody for an example. I have a formula that you also have to give them, because there's a way to figure out how you should do this pricing. First question, where is the market price? And you need to tell them. But Carole, it's listed for 1.1. I don't care if it's listed for 852,000. I don't care. You go into a car dealership, there's a list price there on a window, and they're trying to convince you that's the real price they're paying. You know and I know that's not the right price. That's just the list price that they're going to basically try to work with you with. So first, you've got to get to market price. If they don't want to get there, forget it in multi-offer areas. Anything right now over in the East Bay from 200 to 400,000, and you should write this down, is basically $2,500 to $5,000 per offer, because you're not competing against the house, you're competing against offers. The house is the prize you get at the end if you win. Anything from 400 to 800,000 is $7,500 to $10,000 per offer. Anything that is basically 800,000 to 2 million is going to be from 15 to 20,000. Anything from 2 to 5 million is going to be from 25 to 35,000. And anything that's over 5 million is going to be from 35 to 50,000 per bidder. Now, everyone says to me, how do I know how many bids? Come on, guys. You all know at the end, because everybody shares that information. And here's what you know. 14 people go out on a bid, right? And only one's going to get it unless it's a commune. So you got 13 people. Let's just say 3 of them back out of the market because they're unhappy. You still got 10 that are running around looking, and maybe a few more that came in. Now, the last thing to the formula is, if you have double-digit bidders, and you know that, you cut that number in half, because half of them are bogus. They started from the list price, they're not going to qualify, nobody's going to look at them, they're not really your competition. Okay, does anybody have a listing that they knew the price it was listed at, and basically how many bidders? I don't want to know the end price yet, and let's see if the formula works. Does anybody have one? Come on, guys. Okay, give me the number, please. What was it listed at? Is that the correct price?
No. Yes.
I didn't ask you based on comps. I don't care about comps. You priced it at market. Okay, and how many offers were there? How many? 14 offers. Okay, we're going to cut that number down to about 8. And we're going to say at 850, what did I tell you? How much?
15 to 20.
15 to 20,000. Would you like to do it at 15 or 20,000, or you can do it any number in between, depending upon condition and location of the property? The question was, we now took your 14 offers and said because there were double-digit offers, we're going to cut it in half. We're going to do it at about 8, okay? And I said, in that range, there's 8 people now, and it should be 15 to 20,000 per offer. Do you want to do it at 15 or 20,000, depending upon the location and condition of the property? The 15. So let's do 15 times 8. That's 40. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that adds 120. That property I have here went for 970. Listen to me, because it works, and you have to sit down and do that with these people. You have to divide it in half, get to market value, and then you have to do the formula, and it works. All right. The other thing is, look, at multi-offer, what kind of cash do they have? I love this idea that they say they have cash. Cash is cash is cash. Liquid cash to me means you got cash at the Bank of America, and you can basically go down there and get it at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Illiquid cash to me is it's coming from China in a Louis Vuitton suitcase. And medium cash to me means that basically what happens is that you have stock and maybe you have to sell it. Well, look at what happens to some stocks. Or what happens if the little guy from North Korea decides to blow up the world, or worse yet, his best friend, Dennis Rodman, starts to run around. That would really be frightening. So with buyers, you need to do that. Now, on the other side of the bay, here's what else we're seeing. You got to write a contract, guys. You can't be going in here with offers back and forth, back and forth. You got to be one of the top 3. And here's what they're doing on the other side of the bay. They are also increasing the deposit, all right? And here's how they're doing it. Depending on the value of the property, the amount and percentage of the deposit goes up. So if it's 2 to 400,000, they may go from a 3 to 5% deposit, and then it goes up to as high as 15% deposits on properties that are 2 or 3 or 4 million. Why are they doing that? Because even though the buyer will know that they did somewhat of risk, it makes the seller really show the commitment of the buyer, and it makes the seller basically open up their eyes and say, wow, look what I've got. I've got multiple offers, I've got an offer over list, and I also have an increased deposit. Now here's the last thing that they're doing. They're saying to their buyers, we're going to write all this first time out of the hoop. We're going to read it. And here's what we're going to put in the contract. We're going to put in the contract, and this is how you basically work with preemptive offers. You call it the selling agent, and you say to the selling agent, and when are you going to hear offers? You got multiple offers. Well, we're not going to hear offers till Monday. Well, that may be great, but listen, here's the deal. I have a AAA buyer, all cash, sitting in the bank. We can get it to you by 4 o'clock today. They have increased their deposit from 3 to 6%. All cash, no financing, no appraisal contingency. Your seller should be doing pre-inspection, so you don't have that to worry about. And I only have one issue that basically is there, and that is they've been out on 4 offers, and so there's food. And they put down that this offer will only be good until 4 o'clock tomorrow, and after that, they walk from this offer. That is a good thing to do. And I would then say to the selling agent, I think you need to take that offer to your sellers, even though you're waiting till Monday. Because AAA buyer, over list, no financing, no appraisal, increased deposit, can get you the cash by 4 o'clock this afternoon. You cannot not tell your seller about that offer. Then they can choose to wait if they want, but my buyers will walk. And you know what? The buyers can still come back on Monday and make another offer.